So today we are going to see the contents which are related to the Informatica. And yesterday we seen these concepts as a layman person, okay, who is who is not at all related to Informatica, or who is not at all related to this data warehousing. So yesterday we learned like the process, how you are going to build your code, how you are going to test your code, how you are going to compile, how you are going to execute, how you are going to monitor. This is what we learned yesterday. As a layman person, I gave an example of a satellite, so I'm launching in a rocket. Okay, so just try to make that point in your mind whenever we are talking about a mapping or session or anything. Just try to get that concept in your mind back. Okay, so now let's see that in a real world, like how it's going to happen in the Informatica. So yesterday we seen this slide, right? So what is a mapping? A mapping is collection of a source and a collection of a transformations and collection of a targets. So it's nothing but collection of a source, transformations and target. When you are putting all these things together, then I'm calling it as a mapping. But what is the purpose of the mapping? To take the data from one place and to do some kind of a massage on the data and loading the data into a target. This is what the actual purpose of a mapping. But what is the mapping is doing here? What is the role of a mapping in this process? It is creating, or it's providing a platform where you can write your code, where you can build, okay, where you can build your code. So mapping is a platform where you can build your code to perform this ETL. Okay, so what are the frequent words? What are the frequent terminologies you are using in this one? The first thing is source. And second thing is transformation. Third thing is a target. First, try to learn about the sources. What kind of sources normally you can deal with? You can deal with any kind of a relational objects or relational tables and flat files. What do you mean by flat files? XML files, comma delimited files means the file which is separated. I mean the words or the fields in a file separated with a comma. Then I'm calling it as a comma delimited file. For example, if you're having a file like this, let me take an example. Just I'm trying to give a picture how many different kinds of files will be there. Employee N number, comma, ename, comma, salary. Okay. So employee number 101, employee name is ABC, salary is 10,000 or 1,000. So what kind of file is this?
Employee.
Okay, employee file. Okay, so the file name is employee. That's okay. But still my question. Again, I'm asking the same question. What kind of file is this? What file is this? Employee. But what kind of file is this? This is a comma delimited file. Why I am calling it as a comma delimited? Because here each value or each field is separated by comma, right? Okay, that's why I'm calling it as a comma delimited file. But instead of a comma, I'm having like a semicolon. A semicolon. This one is a semicolon delimited file. So overall, it's a delimited file. Either it can be a comma or it can be a semicolon or it can be anything. If you are using some kind of a character which is separating two fields, then I am calling that as a delimited file. Does that make sense? That can be a comma, that can be an and symbol, or that can be a star symbol, or that can be a question mark, or that can be a whatever. If that specific character is used to separate two fields or two data elements, then I'm going to call that specific file is a delimited file. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, now instead of semicolon, I used 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. Here also 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. And even for the data also I'm using 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. This kind of file, there is no specific character which is separating. What it's exactly separating here? The width. For every field, I used 3 spaces. Or what is the worth of a space? Space mean 1 character, 2 character, 3 character. So
Okay.
I am leaving the space of 3 characters. Here also I am leaving the space of 3 characters. Here also I am leaving the space of 3 characters. Like that, wherever you find a 3 characters, you are separating it. This kind of a file you are going to call it a fixed width file. What kind of file? Fixed width file. So whenever you get a file, even you will get the width of the specific field. Okay, does it make sense?
Okay.
So how, in what format you are going to get this fixed width file? So in this scenario, what I'm saying is employee number is separated with a specific space. So even ename is separated by a specific space, but how do you know what is that space and how much is that length? Okay, is it always with the 3 spaces? No, sometimes it can be 2 spaces, sometimes it can be a 1 space, sometimes this can be like a 4 spaces, sometimes this can be 8 spaces. How you are going to determine that? You are going to determine that based on the first row, that is header row. Normally this is called a header. Okay, this one is a header, and because these are the employee name, employee number, employee name, salary, or what, these are the column names, right? Normally in the table, what we'll call, these are the column names. Here I am calling it as a header. Okay, so how this header will be defined? Like this: employee number, how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm having a space also, 5, 6, 7, right? 5, 6, sorry, only one space, right? So it's a 6. I am defining this as a employee number 6, and ename,
5.
okay,
8,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because there are 2 spaces, right?
Yeah.
Whatever is coming until 7 characters, or after 6, first 6 characters will be employee number, and after 6 whatever is coming as an employee name with 7 characters. After 7 characters you are going for a salary. How many characters for salary? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what I'm saying is up to 5 characters give the value for salary. So for example, in the place of employee number, you got a value like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, what kind of value it will consider for employee number? Very important. Your employee number width is, the size is 6, so it's going to consider only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will ignore the 7. Okay, so you need to make sure whatever the data is coming, okay, that should be under the limit of this size. Okay, but for example, if you are having a 7, then what it will do? It will consider as employee name, because employee name is going to start from 7th character to till 14th character, and this one from 15th character to 20th character. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how you are going to consider the flat files. So any questions on this one?
No.
Okay, good. So now let me go back. So this is what the source. Okay, you know about the relation tables, I need not to explain. Then what is the XML files? XML files are different kind of a files. Normally the look of the XML file like this. It will start with the tags. Okay, it will start with the tags like head, and it will end. For example, if I'm saying employee number, how the employee number look like? The same thing, instead of mentioning like this, they will mention like this: employee number 7 or 101, and they'll close like this, employee number. Okay, so this is the format of an XML. Okay, so these are the different kind of files, and there will be another file also, that is COBOL files. So based on your project, based on your functional requirement, you can find these many different kind of files. So how the COBOL files will be there? Even the COBOL files are fixed width files like this. You will have some specific width for the COBOL files. So how many different kind of files are there? Delimited files,
Fixed width file,
fixed width files,
XML,
yes,
XML file,
XMLs, and maybe you can call as a COBOL files
global.
or whatever like. So normally COBOL files are like a little bit different. So it's not like a regular fixed width file, but they are completely different. Okay, to process the COBOL files, we need to use a different kind of a process. Okay, and there could be like a different kind of things, like not only this, you will have like so many things, but like you can mention in your resume like you deal with these kind of different files. Okay, for your knowledge.
Okay.
So next thing, transformations. What is a transformation first of all? Okay, first of all you need to understand what is the transformation. You understand about the source, right?
Yeah.
Clearly, like ABC, you understand source.
Yeah.
When someone asks you what is ABC, you confidently says, okay, these are the alphabets, we need these alphabets to write a words. In that same way, you need to understand the source also. Source means it is some kind of a file or a table or an object from where you are reading the data. How many different kind of files? Just now we mentioned. How many different kind of a tables? The relational tables or non-relational tables. Okay, so this concept, I believe you are clear on this one. Now we are going with the transformations. So now what is a transformation? The name itself saying transform. Okay, what is a transform? If you are having a clay, okay, you can transform into any kind of a art picture, or like you can transform it, that clay, into any kind of a format or any kind of a toy, any kind of thing. What is the meaning of transforming here? Molding and a data or an object or a clay or whatever, a molding from one format to another format is called transform. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
So to perform that, what I'm using different kind of an objects. Those objects I am calling transformations. So bottom line is, a transformation is an Informatica object which is used to transform the source data. Is that make sense?
Yeah.
But why we are using the transformations? To mold the source data or to transform the source data. Okay,
Okay.
great. Now what are the different kind of transformations? Okay, this is the second one. These all are transformations. Okay, if you see here, source qualifier, expression, filter, sorter, aggregator, joiner, lookup. I don't want to read each and every one, but like for your information, I'm giving these examples. Okay, so approximately you'll have like 20 to 21 transformations in your Informatica, but like frequently you use like 10 to 12 transformations, not more than that. Okay, so if you are perfect on these transformations, you are done. You can crack the interview. So the only thing you need to learn is these transformations. Okay, it's not only in interviews, even you can work on Informatica confidently if you know this transformation. That's the reason I mentioned initially, when you ask for the testing, then I mentioned Informatica is a better one. You can go as an ETL tester as well as ETL developer. The only reason is the scope of the interview is limited. If you know this 11 to 12 transformations, you are done. But learn this 11 to 12 transformations in thorough. I mean, what I mean to say, learn from top to bottom on each transformation. What are the performance scenarios? What are the things you need to take care? Everything you need to learn. Okay, that's the reason. That's the only reason I ask you to learn these things. What I can say is like the scope of learning these things is easy, and the way you prepare for them, for these transformations, will be an easy thing. And even if you, when you're working in an organization also, if you get into any trouble, you will get a real quick help from the Informatica website or from Informatica blogs or from regular Informatica, or like whatever who are working on Informatica, they'll post on different blogs. You definitely get a damn sure answer, I mean the straightforward answer for your problem. Okay, so now we are going to see like each transformation in detail, but like what you need to understand is why we are calling it as a transformation. Okay, again I'm going back to the first slide. Why you are calling this as a transformation? The basic definition, what we learned, what we understand is because you are transforming the data, that's the reason you are calling it as a transformation. But what is the actual characteristics of a transformation? Basically, these transformations are classified into two different kind of a transformations. What are they? So there are two different kind of a transformations. One is active transformation and another one is a passive transformation. So what is active and what is a passive? Active transformation means, for example, if you are passing 100 records from a source, okay, if you are passing 100 records from a source, when you pass 100 records, the result of the transformation or result of that specific transformation is less than 100 or greater than 100, then that is an active transformation. Just blindly remember these things, Harika, because anyway I'm going to show you in the tool. But like why I'm giving this introduction, because before going to the tool you should have some kind of an idea on this one. Okay, then only I want to take you to the tool. So active transformation is what? Assume you are sending the data. In this example, you are sending the data, sending the data from the source, and when it passes through this transformation block, okay, when it passes through this transformation block, if your result, for example, if I am passing 100 records, there are 100 records in my source file, okay, when this 100 records passes through this transformation, then the result of this transformation is only either greater than or less than the volume whatever you are sending, then that transformation is called active transformation. Okay, for example, if the count is not changing, whatever you are sending is coming out, then it's a passive transformation. Very, very important. Active, passive. Based on that, we classified all the transformations. Okay, so yesterday I gave an example like the water tank and the pipelines to your home. Okay, for example, if you are putting in middle of your pipelines, if you are putting some two different kind of boxes, okay, one box is trying to filter out the water, all the waste water will go into a different pipe, and all the good water will go into a different and into the houses. Then that kind of a block or that kind of a box, whatever you're using in middle of your pipe, is called active transformation. For example, I am not using any block which is routing the water in two different directions. I'm just using a specific block or a kind of in a box. Whatever the water is coming, it will take into your house. But only the thing what it's doing is it will add some more chemical like a fluorine. Sorry, fluorine, or like I don't know what you call that, some bleach or something. Okay. So in that scenario, you are not filtering any water, right? You are adding whatever is coming, you are adding some chemical to that and you are sending to the homes. In this kind of scenario, I am not losing any water. Okay, this kind of box or the transformation, okay, is called passive. The same thing applies here. Yes. So if you are not filtering out any records, or if you are not increasing the volume of any records, then such kind of a transformations are called passive transformation. If you are filtering or increasing, then it's an active transformations. Does it make sense, Harika?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, now I don't want to jump into task. I want to finish the mapping first, then you will understand the task and everything. Okay, so I'm making you as a presenter, Harika, so I want you to share your screen. So I'm giving presenter. Can you share your screen, Harika?
Oh, to be a presenter, download and switch to.
Pardon?
It's asking if you want presenter, you need to download.
Yeah. Just select it.
Okay.
So are you facing any problem, Harika? Okay, I'll do one thing.
When
I'll
I
make you as a organizer. Let's see.
oh, can you see my screen?
No, Harika. See your screen.
Hello?
Yeah, now I can see your screen, Harika.
Oh,
Okay, can you open the Informatica? Okay, go to start. Go to start. Okay, now go to programs. See, this is how you need to go every day. Okay,
oh,
and if you look on top, like the fifth one, Informatica 9.1.0.
this one?
Yes. See, wait. Here you can see three different kind of things, right? One is client, another one is server, another one is a data transformation. So we need not to bother about the server and data transformation because these are the different kind of things which we don't bother as a developer. Okay. Now what we are going to see as a ETL developer over here is a client. Okay. Can you go to that? Even here also, you are not working as a developer client. You are working only Power Center client. So if you go to Power Center client here, so these are all are the Informatica Power Center tools. Okay, the first one with the green color D. Okay, can you point on D? Yeah, this is called designer. Okay, where you are going to build the mappings. Whatever we discussed just now, this is what the place where you are going to build the mapping. Okay, now just click on that. We will discuss like one by one later. I don't want to jump in on all those things now itself, but we'll go one by one. it will take some time. I think this will take
Can
this
you
much
try
of
one more
time.
time?
Yeah, can you do it once again?
Okay.
Oh, wait, it's opening. Maybe like this is the first time you're opening, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Click on support. Okay, now I want to give some overview here. Now, this is what the main page of your designer. Okay, so can you come out of all these things? Yeah, this is what your main page. Here, what you can see, can you read anything over here on the left hand side? Okay, so forget about all these things. You don't have to worry about these things. Okay, just these are like kind of a descriptions, or these are the kind of information source, okay, from where you can go to the specific websites or anything, but you're nothing related to that one. So you need to concentrate on the left hand side. So what you can see on left hand side, repositories support.
Repository support.
Okay, now, so this is what I want to you to see. But like before going anything into that Informatica, now you need to understand the architecture. Okay, so this is how you will open the Informatica. Does it make sense?
Okay.
Okay, now what you need to understand, you need to understand the architecture. Okay, just a sec. I missed that slide. Anyway, let me give the introduction of this on your system itself on the same window. Okay, if you look at the Informatica, there are two different kind of things. Okay, one is the client and another one is a server. So just now you've seen, right, client and server. You remember, like I told you, you don't have to worry about the server, because server is a part where like the admins are going to work, but like what exactly they are going to work is a question, right? So when you look at that Informatica, there are like two different kind of things. One is client and another one is a server. What exactly the server is doing? The server is trying to maintain your Informatica software. Okay, so whatever the code you are running or whatever the things you are doing on Informatica, the server is the one who is going to execute them, or the server is the one who is going to control them, or the server is the one who is going to manage from the starting point of your development to till the end point of the results. Okay, so the time you start developing your coding till the time you see your results, everything is handled by the server. Okay, then how it's handling? There are two different kind of things. One thing is the repository, and the second thing is service. Okay, so when you're running something, for example, let me show you this one. Go to start. Normally I want to show you how your system is working. Can you go to your machine, Windows, on your machine, not in the virtual machine?
So
Go to start on your machine. Oh, it's a Windows 10.
yeah.
Go to control panel or do services.msc in the ask me anything. services.msc. Services, SERVI. Services dot, oh, is your keyboard is not working, or
Yeah.
Okay, services dot, maybe the first one, I think the first one is on, it's already there on your screen. For everything, even for your mission also, in the background there will be some services, they will be running. Because of those services only you can see all these things, like your GoToMeeting or your browser or like your games, whatever, your MS Office, everything is a service. See, if you look at this, how many services are running to make sure you run your mission properly. So there are so many services are running, right? Why these services are required? Because to run a software or to run a application, okay, you need to have a specific service. So the same way for Informatica also, in the background some services are running. Even here, if you look at this, there is a virtual machine service will run, maybe somewhere in the down, it will start with a V, VMware or something. Okay, in the same way, if you go and look into your VMware, definitely you will see a service called Informatica. See, you can see the VMware, right?
Yeah.
This is running right now on your machine. So if you go now, go to the VMware. Now if you do the same thing, go to start and services.msc, definitely you will see a Informatica service will be running under your machine, on your virtual machine. Okay, so maybe you can check that later. Now, what are these services? To make sure your application running perfectly or smoothly, we need these services to be executed in the background. That is to run your Informatica. But like how the Informatica will run internally? Because to run the Informatica for your system, you need a service. But within the Informatica, like when you are trying to create a job, or when you're trying to run a job, or when you're trying to execute a job, or when you're trying to save a job, for all these things, how your Informatica will run? Even there, you need another service, right? I mean, are you getting my point?
Yeah.
I mean, ask me questions if you have anything, okay? So in the background, you need some more services to execute all of your actions. That's the reason we need to have some kind of a services, okay? We are calling those services as integration services, because those services are integrating your actions, okay? This is the one thing you need to remember. Second thing, okay, everything looks good, but how Informatica will work? Do you remember or not? Like earlier I mentioned, every application, every software will run based on the metadata. Even for the Informatica to run, okay, it need a metadata, right? Okay, so that metadata I am calling it as a repository. Okay, that metadata I am calling it as a repository. So whatever the code you develop, whatever the structures you are getting, whatever the structures you are importing or exporting, sorry, exporting is a different thing, but importing, where all these are getting stored, they will store as a metadata under your repository. Okay, is this clear?
Yeah.
Bottom line is, to run your application, you need some services. Those services are called integration service. Okay, to store or to integrate all these things, you need some kind of a storage area, storage place, I can say. That storage place I'm calling as a, I'm calling it as a repository. Okay, and the next thing, for example, I'm having an office, or like for example, I'm working in a state farm. In the state farm, there will be different kind of applications. State farm means it's not only like one application. There will be different kind of applications. For example, there will be HR department, human resource department, there is a finance department, there is a marketing department, there is an insurance department, and there is a banking department. So many departments. All these departments will have different kind of a data, right? All these different kind of applications are having different kind of a data and different kind of a tables. So for example, I am performing my Informatica, or I am doing the job of my Informatica, or I am using the Informatica tool for my insurance application. Suddenly the Informatica is down. Then how I am going to process the data? So if my Informatica is down on one application, should that impact all of other applications as well? No, it need not to be, right? So in that scenario, what I need to do, what I planned is, instead of using one Informatica tool for the whole company, one tool I am trying to use a different kind of Informatica tools. How I am going to separate them? I am calling them as a domain. Okay, means for insurance I'll have a domain. For banking I'll have another domain. For HR I will have another domain. Okay, to put it in a real term, for my development I will have one domain. Okay, for testing I'll have one domain. For production I'll have one domain, because I want everything separate. I don't want my Informatica installation all in one machine, all in one server. Here, for example, Swapna is having her own machine, right? You are having your own machine, and Krishna is having his own machine. So how many domains I am maintaining now? Not me, the overall team. There are 3 domains I can say. One is Harika domain, and another one is Swapna domain, and another one is a Krishna domain. So Krishna can execute his own jobs independent of Harika and Swapna, and Harika can run her own jobs independent of Swapna and Krishna. So bottom line is, where you are loading the data, all of 3 of us can load into only one server also. But the way you execute the jobs is different, or the platforms where you are executing is different. Okay, I don't want to go in deeper over here, but like I would like to make sure you understand this concept. So what are the things you need to understand? Domain means installation of your Informatica. Integration service, to run your Informatica you need an integration service. Repository, to store your data you need, or to store your code, or to store your structures, source structure, target structure, transformation structure, everything, you need a repository. To run that repository you need to have a repository service. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Now click on the support. So now whatever you have here is a support. What is the support here? The repository name is a support. What exactly you are doing here? You are trying to create your mappings and everything and storing under support. Okay. Now click on support. Can you click on support?
Yeah.
Username and password. Yeah, administrator. Just copy and paste it. The password also administrator. No. Oh, okay. I understand. Yeah, connect. So what you are trying to do now? You are trying to connect to a repository. Why? Because you are planning to perform some kind of a development. Okay. Now, what is the other one? The folder. Folder means what? Where, for example, if you are working a project, so according to my example, for a insurance domain, you will have one repository. Okay. So in the insurance domain, how many projects can be there? There can be n number of projects in organization. For example, if you are like there are like 5 applications running under insurance. So 5 applications will have 50 projects. Each project will have a folder. So there are how many folders can be there? Around 250 folders can be there on a repository. That depends. The size of the organization is matters here, or the size of the applications you are implementing on a data warehouse is important. Okay, so normally for each and every application there will be a folder. Okay, so now assume your application name is DWH. Okay, so under this folder you can perform your coding. So can you expand that folder, the plus symbol? There is a branching, right? Yeah. Now again you can find some more folders. So those are readable, like sources. All of your sources will be there under sources. All of your targets will be there under targets. And forget about the cubes and business components. We are not going to dealing anything with that in the Power Center. And even dimensions and even user defined functions. So you need to focus only on source, target, transformations, maplets, mappings, and I'm not sure, but like there are some cases you can use user defined functions, but like normally we never use user defined functions. Okay, so what you can focus is source, targets, and transformations, maplets, mappings. Okay, so what is the sources? You can extract, okay, the data from the source. So whatever you are planning to extract, you are going to get them and put in a sources folder. Targets, to where you want to load, get those structures and put it into targets. And maplets, this is a different kind of a concept I'll discuss later. But transformations, just now we discussed about the transformations. All those transformations will be there under transformation folder. And mapping, when you get source, target, transformation, then you are going to build mapping and save it in the mapping folder. As simple as it is. Okay. So, okay, from tomorrow onwards we are going to work on your the labs. So instead of saying labs, like what I'm planning to do is, first I will try to show you how to execute, how to create a basic Informatica mapping, and how you are going to save it, how you are going to execute it, how you are going to see the results. Once that is done, then again I'm going back to the ETL testing concepts. Means first I will show you how the code will look like, then I will show you how you are going to test it. Okay. So now, can you open the email like whatever I sent to you? Like I sent you a class contents or the files or something. Do you remember that? So please execute these 2 commands. Okay, now what you are trying to do is you are trying to create a schema. Okay, so I told you, right, you are going to maintain multiple tables in one schema. Okay, or you are going to maintain the related tables under one schema. So now whatever you are doing is you are trying to create a schema called Oracle underscore schema. Sorry, Oracle underscore source. So I IM'd you. Can you go to your GoToMeeting window, or you can write like I can tell you, create okay, you are trying to go to your GoToMeeting window, or yeah, can you go to meeting? Can you see any IMs from me? Harika?
Hello?
Yeah, Harika, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, can you go to your GoToMeeting window? I mean the IM window. The GoToMeeting one. Maybe you can see in the bottom next to this your virtual machine.
Okay.
Or else like you can type Harika. That's okay. I can read out the command. Create space user Oracle space Oracle underscore source, or your own name. There is no constraints here. Okay, any name, Oracle underscore source or something. Okay, give Oracle underscore source. I don't want to confuse you. Oracle underscore source, ORACLE. No, space. Create user space user space Oracle underscore source space identified IED space. Yeah, you're right. Identified. You're right. Find space by space same Oracle underscore source. So the basic command syntax is create user username identified by password. So the first Oracle underscore source is a username and next one is a password. Semicolon, enter. Enter. I mean, yeah, fine. Now grant DBA. Now you just created a user. Now you are giving complete permissions. Okay. Grant grant space. What kind of permissions you are giving? Whatever a DBA is having. So grant DBA space to TO2 space Oracle underscore source. Underscore source. Same way, yeah, semicolon, enter. Now, same way you need to create for the Oracle underscore target. Okay, same thing. Create user. Same thing, whatever you typed on top. Instead of source, give target. And do the grant DBA. Okay, now, so what you did now, you created two different kind of schemas. One schema is for your source. Okay, in the real time also you will have a source schema and target schema. Even here also you have a source schema and target schema. Now what you are trying to do in your labs, whatever the data is there under Oracle underscore source and you are trying to populate that in the Oracle underscore target, so that it will be easy for you. Now, can you connect? Okay, now where you are, just show user, type a command to show user, because you are in a basic schema now. I mean, whatever the default schema for Oracle, you are in that schema right now. So you need to connect to this Oracle underscore source. So to know under what schema you are, just type show user. Show user. User. It will show you under which schema you are in right now. You are under Scott. Okay. To connect to Oracle underscore source, just use the command connect. Space Oracle underscore source. Underscore source. Yeah, enter. It lost the password. Now password also Oracle underscore source. Don't give, yeah, just enter. Don't give semicolon.
Yeah.
Now show user. Where you are. Okay, enter. Oracle underscore source. Okay. Now you are in Oracle underscore. Whatever you do now, that will be saved under Oracle underscore source user. Okay. Now take a screenshot of this or copy paste whatever the commands you used.
Okay.
You can take a screenshot or whatever. Okay. And whatever I mentioned in the email, like in the lab files for the source, try to create in the source. And for the target, connect to the Oracle underscore target and try to create in that. Does it make sense?
Okay.
Okay, Harika. So if you're done with that, so from tomorrow we can start one sample mapping, and based on that, we will go ahead with the testing concepts. Yeah, I just want to take your feedback.